What if Blade from Marvel Comics were to be a Hashira in the world of Demon Slayer? Now I get it. Most people are just gonna immediately write this off and be like, "Oh, Demon Slayer's so weak. Marvel characters involved, so it's just gonna be a wash." But I don't want to look at it from that angle. I want to look at this from a story perspective. Blade is what's known as basically a daywalker. He has all the positive traits of a vampire without any of the negative ones. He has the enhanced stats, he has a healing factor, all that. But he has none of the downsides that come with being a vampire, like the weakness to sunlight. And that is going to be the biggest plot point I'm going to hang on to. Because yes, he is a vampire, but in the world of Demon Slayer, he would be similar enough, the enhanced stats, the healing factor, that the demons would think that he was one of them. And specifically, since he would have the traits that would be viewed as similar to the Demon Slayer demons, but he could walk during the day, Muzan would have him at the top of his list. And although, yes, if we're factoring in the stats that come with a Marvel character most of the time, then likely Muzan even confronting him in a 1v1 would probably be able to handle Muzan. But I don't want to think of it that way. What would really be interesting is the narrative implications of how Blade would feel realizing that him being there with the Hashira is actively drawing the demons closer, and more specifically Muzan. And although Blade is definitely insanely powerful, if it were a full-scale attack of Muzan and the Upper Moons, which if Muzan saw a competent character like Blade compared to seeing someone like Nezuko, I think he would be much more upfront with confronting them to take them down compared to what he did in canon with Nezuko. Meaning that I think when sent to the Infinity Castle, Blade would be targeted by some of the strongest there. Meaning, I think he would end up joining in on the fight against Kokushibo with Gyome and Saname. Not to mention, if he saw Genya, depending on how early on or late on in the story this is, I think seeing how Genya's interaction with demons, with the whole gaining the traits of it, I think he might see some kind of interaction between Blade and Genya. And hell, maybe during the Kokushibo fight, Blade prioritizes keeping Genya alive. Sure, Genya's not going to be much of a help, but I think he would feel protective of Genya for some reason, and would, on top of fighting all out against Kokushibo, would do his best to make sure he stays alive. And who knows, if he has an existing breathing style from the series, if we were to give him one, I can't really think of which one would fit him right now off the top of my head, but hey, would he have an entirely unique one, or do you think he would fit under one of the established breathing styles? And not to mention, could you imagine him getting the kind of amps that exist in Demon Slayer? Imagine Blade getting Transparent World, Selfless State, a Slayer mark, turning his signature sword into a red blade. Blade in the world of Demon Slayer would honestly be such a cool narrative thing to talk about. And I get it, people are going to try and bring up the stat differences, but hey, I don't care. Just seeing these two universes interacting with each other would just be cool. So, yeah, who cares if there's a massive stat difference? Just watching these characters interact with Blade would be awesome.